Hey everybody, it's me, it's Michael B. Thank you so much for joining me on another Monday night, and tonight might be a special night. Tonight we're going to do our annual Arcade1Up CES Prediction Show. So we're going to take a look at what we think they'll unveil this January in Vegas at CES. Now, I don't know if they're going to be at the show. It might be very similar to what they did last year, where they had a hotel room and they were inviting people up to the hotel room to check out their wares. We'll have to see what that's like. I think a couple of my friends are actually going back to CES again this year, so we should get some on-site coverage. I think B and Justin are headed back, and maybe some more people. We'll have to see. Anyways, sit back, relax. We should have a super fun night tonight, speculating on what Arcade1Up is going to do coming up in just a couple weeks. Believe it or not, CES is only like 3 weeks away. What will Arcade1Up unveil for 2024? Thank you so much for being here. This is Chillin' Chat with Michael B. Alright guys, I got a new visual here while I'm on screen to try to make things a little bit more pretty. Hopefully this looks okay. We'll see. Anyways, let's start tonight's show. I'll be very clear about this. We're going to go through the people here in the chat. I'm going to try to say hello to as many people as I possibly can. But before that, we got to get the official business out of the way. So right up front, disclaimer. Obviously, guys, you've seen me on the Arcade1Up official streams recently, where they've done Arcade1 Update and some of that 1Up show. They're official shows that they were doing on YouTube. I don't even know if they're doing those anymore. Right now, they're just doing like their own videos and stuff, and maybe that's the right answer. I don't know, but you did see me in that role. So obviously, there's a perception there that I work for Arcade1Up, or so I'm told. A couple people are saying there's a perception that I work for Arcade1Up. So disclaimer, I do have a relationship with Arcade1Up where I have helped them out with videos in the past. I don't have any formal agreement or formal arrangement for these, I don't know, showings or what I've been doing. I've done it strictly on a volunteer basis after talking to their new management team and saying, hey, I really want to help these guys out. So that's the reason I did it, and I can't say that it's not for my own vanity, because I've always wanted to, have some kind of role, be involved with Arcade1Up, some way, like, for them to see me as a good representation of a fan of their company or something along those lines, if that makes sense. So, it was a good opportunity, and I did it. I don't know if I'm going to be doing it going forward. I haven't heard from them what the plan is, but I did some stuff last year. So, of course, there's going to be people saying that I'm a paid representative or influencer, marketing influencer for Arcade1Up. And I thought about this for a while, and I was like, I should go on the attack and call these guys out, but I'm not going to do that. It really doesn't do any good to come back with adding more negativity to the already way too much negativity in this space and sometimes the gaming space overall. So here's what I will say. I want you to know that disclaimer, and if you feel that way, that I have inside knowledge, I'm involved with Arcade1Up, a paid influencer, nothing's going to change your mind. Feel free to keep that in mind while watching this video. But I will tell you, honestly, I don't have a working relationship with Arcade1Up. I don't get paid for any of this stuff. I don't have an agreement. I've just been helping out. So that's what I'll say. The other thing is, people are going to say, I already know what cabs are coming out in 2024. I already have all the inside information since I work for Arcade1Up. Well, that's just not true. The only person from Arcade1Up that I even talked to is Travis. So Travis is the community liaison. He has an official position with Arcade1Up, a paid position with Arcade1Up. He is compensated, and he'll reach out to me, ask me for advice sometimes on what he should do from a community perspective, but he doesn't really give me any knowledge either. I'm going to be honest with you. I have little to no information on what Arcade1Up are doing for 2024. So I will say this, and you can choose to believe whatever you want. All right, with the disclaimers out of the way, Let's say hello to the people in the chat, and then we can get this show started. I know, that's a lot to take in, guys. I wish I didn't have to do it, but there's people out there that just, they will hammer that home or try to make me look bad, and if you feel that way, that's fine. But I'm not going to sit back and just let them lie about me and not say that it's lies. So, all right, so we've got NPC Worldwide Entertainment. I say another release, re-release, or just flat out nothing because they're bankrupt. Yeah, that's another rumor swirling around. We'll talk about that tonight. I think that'll be fun to talk about. We've also got JJ here. Let me move this box up so you guys can see what he's saying. I think AtGames will have their 4K devices at CES running new Zen 4K pinballs. Arcade1Up will show off at least one new unreleased cab, and yes, we'll make more XLs. Just hope they keep the 3/4 size too. I think JJ, you'll be happy because as much as we all want the XLs, I never think that's going to be their main product. Scott Parisi here. Anyone else getting ads? I sure hope so. That's how I make my Skrilla. Dan Z. Hello, Michael B. Hello, Dan Z. Always good to see you, my brother. Jason Little Alien, the best moderator in the home arcade spaces here. Good to see you, Jason. Game Room Guru. You've been out of the loop for the last little while. Good to see you here, my man. Appreciate it. We've got Stupid Fat Hobbits here. Oh, man, Genie going for the Grand Slam stream tonight. Let's do a top 100 countdown of 1UP's Most Wanted. We should finish by CES weekend. That would take a very long time. Cornercade's here. He tells everybody to get hyped. Sir Tater Slayer, fingers crossed for MK and Star Wars XL. My fingers too. Console Kits is here. I was told that 5 minutes after the greeting of the episode, Mike is going to share everything he knows because Console Kits is assuming I know something. Carlo's here. AtGames is releasing a sit-down racer. You heard it here first. I'm afraid that ship has sailed. We'll have to see. Garage Gamer says, I heard it will be Pac-Man. It's possible. It could always be Pac-Man. Alfred Burger's here. Good to see you. Matt Astra Gaming's here. Matt Astra, always good to see you, my man. Who else we got? Don't want to miss anybody. Bill's Retro Gaming Show. Hello, Bill. How the hell are you doing? Nicholas Diorio. Really appreciated the picture of Nostalgia I shared earlier and his new Twitch channel. Thank you very much for being here. 19K Fox says, I hope they re-release cabs in the 1/2 scale. Now I got to move it down because I don't like the way it is. Yeah, Fox, I watched your show last night, and I don't know if you noticed, but I saw what you said. The 3/4 scale are really the half scale. Yeah, you're probably right. Jasmine LeBeer's here. Mike B in the house. Thank you very much. Hermano Rivoli. Mikey B, baby. Hermano. I love the pictures you shared in the Facebook group earlier. Thank you so much. All right, who else we got here? Porta Dream, good evening. Building my new Fast and Furious cab while watching tonight. Oh, Porta Dream, I'm so jealous of you. As much as I was not interested in getting the Fast and the Furious at full price, man, that $399 price point, I'm a sucker for those Arcade1Up driving cabs. I said the same thing with Ridge Racer. I was like, I have no nostalgia. I'm not going to buy this. But when it went on sale, I couldn't help myself. And I'm pretty jealous we never even got Fast and the Furious here in Canada. So I couldn't pick it up. I was all last weekend trying to figure out if there's some way to get it shipped, but lose the benefit of the sale then. So that would suck. But congratulations on your Fast and Furious cab. Hope you guys enjoy them. I know 19K Fox said they kind of suck, but at $399, I think it's still a lot of fun. Kinds are us. Come to CES with me, Fox, and Console Kits. I don't know if I can. I had to buy my family Christmas gifts. Kongs are us. And I don't have any of that money left. I also bought a Steam Deck OLED, so that attributes to me also not having any money. We got a super chat here from Nicholas Diorio. The boys want MKXL, and they'll get Dig Dug Deluxe. Hey, look at that. Dig Dug Deluxe would be interesting. I might have something to say about that later. Thank you very much for the super chat, Nicholas. I appreciate it, my man. Who else we got here? Oh, did I skip by people? Let me just go back and make sure. My chat went down like crazy. We got a $2 super chat here from our good friend Kevin Clausen. Do you have a working relationship? Come clean. I don't have a working relationship. They asked me for a favor. There's never been any talk of compensation. They sent me a review unit of the Pac-Man XL, and everybody's saying, oh, that's compensation. And if you look at it that way, that's fair. But it's a review unit, and I did a review. That was the agreement when they sent it to me. Maybe partially they sent it to me as a thanks for helping out, but no official compensation, no official agreement. That's all I'll say about that. That's my cleanness, coming clean. Oh man, can you imagine? I know Travis would be really excited. I think Travis is mainly working with Arcade1Up just to get Tekken made. He's really pushing for it, guys. Sterling Hall, always good to see you, Sterling, here in the chat. Darren Kane, disclaimer, I did get paid by Arcade1Up from February 2020 to May 2022. Darren Kane, a resident former Arcade1Up employee. Always good to see you in the chat, my man. NPC Worldwide says, hey, Michael. Who else we got? Decadent Dave, XL Galaga, CL. I don't know what that is. Tron, XL, Burger Time, make it. Oh, okay. I know what you're saying now. XL Galaga, Collectors, Limited Edition Tron, XL Burger Time, or maybe an XL Tron. Make it so Arcade1Up. Yeah, an XL Tron would be pretty badass. I sold my Tron when I bought the real Tron cabinet, and I was like, well, I'm not going to need it anymore because I got a real Tron. And then the real Tron actually didn't work very well, and I ended up giving it back because it's a nightmare to fix. Jasmine Labir says Robotron. I'm hoping. I don't think it's going to be possible. Papa Brad's here. Hello, gamers. Good to see you, Papa Brad. Did I miss one? Please confirm if you have erectile dysfunction. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I could last longer. Maybe that's attributable to erectile dysfunction. It's always possible. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat, my man. Thor KC's here. I'm going to move it up so you guys can see it. I think Arcade1Up is trying to increase price expectations before they release much new stuff. The problem is, although they have made improvements, they haven't improved as much as they've increased prices. Thor, I'm with you on that one. I don't think the price point is where it needs to be for Arcade1Up. I think for Arcade1Up to be successful, not a sale price, the regular price for the 3/4 scale cabs, or half scale cabs as 19K Fox calls them, should be $3.99. I know a lot of people are justifying $4.99, but get it down, man. $3.99 was the sweet spot, especially now. $3.99 was your sweet spot during the pandemic where you could sell everything. But now we're outside the pandemic, the demand's not there, and you're charging more than what these cabs were super successful at. So I think you got an uphill battle there, guys. I also apologize. I'm going to try not to cough very much, but I am still recovering from the bout of the pandemic I had, so yeesh. Dark Realm Gaming says, good evening, everyone. I heard that Frogger is gone no more. Yeah, I heard that as well. Frogger is sold out. They're not making anymore, so Frogger is now in the Rampage category. If you want one, it's going to be kind of hard to get one, so there you go. 19K Fox. 19K Fox. All relationships worth having are work. Yay, there we go. Chris NXNW, otherwise known as Nooner. Hey, Mikey. Good to see you, Nooner. Who else we got here? Jack of all trades, LLC, Free Daytona USA XL. My God, if they could do it, we could talk about that because I think Daytona is a must for Arcade1Up. It almost feels like a slap in the face every time they release a racing cab and it's not Daytona, because it seems like the most logical and the most requested. So we can talk about that a little bit. Spider-Man 2021, you rock 2 pins, F the haters. I do. And I got to talk about this tonight if I can find time. Probably not going to do it tonight because we got a lot to talk about. But right now I have my Godzilla, which is my dream pin. I love it. My secondary pin, I actually got a really good deal on Dungeons & Dragons from the guy who sold me my Tron. Unfortunately, like my Tron, my Dungeons & Dragons did having an issue. I didn't notice it till a couple weeks into ownership. So a problem I'm experiencing with it is there's no problem if you normally play. But if I get to multi-ball, and multi-ball is pretty easy to get in Dungeons & Dragons. Like, you just have to trap one of the balls and then put it up around. When I get into multi-ball, if one of the balls drains on multi-ball, it'll end the entire round. So I apparently need to change out the sensor. So I have one working and one really good working, except multi-ball Dungeons & Dragons, which I was trying to get rid of in order to buy Stranger Things. But unfortunately, my sale fell through. and I missed my window with this shipment of Stranger Things to get one. We'll see what happens in the future. I might just end up fixing my Dungeons and Dragons, and that being that, I really should, actually save up some money and do some other things in my house. I need a new oven, need a new dishwasher. Should probably get a brake job, so we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to be in the pinball market by the time Stranger Things comes available again. All depends on finances. We'll see how it goes. Jason Little Alien, $10 super chat. You don't have to do that, Jason. You already do so much, man, with giveaways and stuff like that. I heard you're in a super secret erectile dysfunction chat. I'm going to need more details about this so we can rebuild some trust in the ED community. So it's an inside joke. We've been kind of bouncing around with our friends group. We keep saying somebody has ED. That's the big one. I'm not going to go into it. It's an inside joke. I really don't want to try to say somebody has it or start any shit. Yeah, so I'm not in an erectile dysfunction group. I probably should be. We'll see. If you know where to get Blue Chew on the sneak, let me know. If you guys are wrestling fans, if you've ever listened to 83 Weeks, Blue Chew is the big sponsor for Eric Bischoff's 83 Weeks podcast. I always laugh when I hear it. I always chuckle. So anyways, thank you very much for the super chat, Jason. I'm not in a super secret erectile dysfunction chat. I am in a chat where we do make fun of somebody and say this person has erectile dysfunction. Kevin Clausen, LOL. Who else we got here? Robert Brown. That's because I bought the last Frogger in the Wild. Congratulations, Robert. Crying on the toilet. Checked out Tilt on the weekend because of your recommendations. Pretty fun. It was, wasn't it? Like, it's weird when you go to an arcade nowadays. You expect to see all these, old men like yourself, like, graybeards like me. But there was a lot of kids in there. It seems to be the same way in the U.S. And it's really cool to see the arcade hobby living on. Maybe it's niche or retro to them, and that's a cool thing, but I just like it because it's available. Of course, they've got some new stuff in there. Tilt needs more pins and more working pins. Like they had some great pins there, but they were so dark, and I don't know if it was because the original lighting or they didn't do any upgrades to LEDs, but like you're playing certain ones like Addams Family, you're like, I don't know if LEDs are out or if the lights are out, but this is a dark table. It was hard to play in the dark. It's my old stream overlay, not my current stream overlay. I don't use it anymore, console kits. Almost got me. We all know you're getting that. You ain't getting the Texas Chain. That is correct. I am not getting the Texas Chainsaw pin. Not that I don't think it's cool. It's just that's like in my Mount Rushmore of horror movies and horror themes. That is nowhere near the top to entice me, and I would have to play it first. I would still get Halloween over Texas Chainsaw, even though it's older. Long and Low says, I hope they come out with new IPs, or else it's going to be a rough year for them. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, and you're 100% right. Who else we got here? Carlo says, I'm afraid of the dark. Thumper Squid, P-Dubs was giving the farm away. I know, and if he's still going, that's totally okay, guys. Just feel free to catch me on the replay. P-Dubs is doing this big charity event tonight. P-Dubs is actually a pretty good guy, gives a lot back to the community, as in tonight. Every time he hit one of these goals, he almost gives stuff away. So congratulations to anybody who's won the night, and don't feel bad about me streaming at the same time as him. He's got shit to give away. Go watch that. You can almost catch me on the replay. Not a big deal. Say dark one more time. I'm always told Newfoundlanders say things weird, so maybe that's it. P-Dub sent us here because he said you're giving away your Killer Instinct XL cab. Ha! I don't have a Killer Instinct XL cab. I have a Killer Instinct Pro. I don't think they're ever going to make the Killer Instinct again. Just a personal. Smash. Jay Cut says Smash TV 3/4 scale but a riser. I for the riser fans out there, I do think the riser days are done. I think it will be basically. It's going to be deluxe going forward. I think the riser days are done. Just from an Arcade1Up business perspective, they can actually put these cabs now in smaller boxes, which take up less retail space, less shipping cost. Smart move on their part. Hopefully they take these advantages, especially with the less shipping cost, and turn that back to the consumer and we can get some lower prices. Nerd Jock Podcast, we are all here. I'm like, that's good, man. Ben Bauer says he just finished it. Okay, well, P-Dubs is done. Done. He's finished. That was nice of him to end up on time. Thank you, P-Dubs. You're a good dude. Hopefully you guys won some cool stuff. I did get to tune in for a minute. I saw Nerd Lounge Master won something. It was the Jam one, so good for him. Chaotic BPR says, I feel bad for P-Dubs dealing with Rexter today. Yeah. Over what? That P-Dub's got a review cab, so now he's the baddest guy in the world, right? Anyways, positivity, not negativity. We're not going to talk about that. Thumper Squid got Fast and the Furious today for $3.99. Funny story about that. So I'll tell you this. I don't know if I'm supposed to, but I'll tell you anyways. So I made the video and on Friday when the deal came out, and Travis wrote me and he said, funny, I have to learn about Arcade1Up sales from Mike B instead of Arcade1Up. And then he told me that the deal for Fast and the Furious was actually supposed to start today, not last Friday. And it was a mistake that the retailers made. They just went ahead and put it up Friday. So then Cyrus reached out to him and said, no, the deal's supposed to be on Monday. So when the deal went down Friday night, I was like, oh, they must have sold out. But maybe Cyrus's message to Best Buy and the retailers finally got through, and they took it off sale only to put it back up today. So I don't know if I should tell you that or if I'm supposed to, but I'm going to. It is what it is. Just make it under 500. Make it under 400. 400. Special cabs that have, guns, racing wheels, 4-player cabs. If you got to justify it that way, maybe then add a little bit extra. Maybe those could be $4.99. But really, your, normal run-of-the-mill cabs, in my opinion, should be $3.99. We'll see. Who is surprised? They're literally giving casino cades away. Well, to P-Dubs. YouTuber got a review cab. Oh, how will we ever trust them to tell us truthfully that they enjoyed the game in spite of its flaws? Right? That's the thing. Like, these guys come out. Oh, positivity. Positivity, Mike. Give it up. P-Dub said to hit him up. You want his Venom pin? No. I wouldn't take that from him. Goofy Foot, good to see you. I told you weren't blocked, brother. My dream cab will be a Williams Multicab XL. Well, you might get something similar this year. I think there's a chance something similar to that will come out. Might not be exactly what you're looking for, like a Williams Multi with bubbles and all that on it. I don't know if you'll get that. But bubbles should be on the cab, actually. They could do bubbles. Anyways, thank you so much for everybody being here. Stare at us. Good to see you, man. Supply in demand tricks sold out. Stardust, good to see you. Long time. All right. So I'll show you guys why I did this format tonight. I wanted to switch it up a little bit, but I did want to show you the reason why I'm not doing the old one, the old thing with the thing on the screen. A little bit of a complicated story. So ever since I've been doing the streaming, I started with OBS like I've been doing. Then I moved to Restream, and the good thing about Restream is we already paid for it for Super Game Room Dude, so I could use it for free. But on top of that, the other cool thing about it is when I do polls, like I have one up now, it doesn't show up in the chat. I can have the chat up on the screen or off the screen, and the poll isn't in the way. But when I do chill and chat through OBS like I've been doing, and have my chat up, this is what you see. It completely closes out the chat. So that's why I was like, screw it. I'm just going to use Restream from now on so I don't have to deal with this. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go to this new form factor. You guys can see the chat anyways. It's on the side of the screen. You can let me know. Oh, no, JJ, I'm sorry. Darn ads. Sorry, guys. I put the ads in there. I want to get paid. I'm sorry. Up front. I'd show the CM Punk video right now, but I definitely get a copyright claim on it. I don't know if anybody's seen it. The closing one from Raw where he's like, I'm here to make money. I'm not here to make friends. So I just laugh every time I see that. Vic Vicious says Afterburner XL. Sandman says, is Arcade1Up even doing CES? Yes, Arcade1Up will be in Vegas for CES. They're going to get a hotel room, I think, and they'll be showcasing their new products. And my son just woke up. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm going to listen to Console Kits. He says, oh, wrong one. I'm going to listen to Console Kits, and he said, in OBS, turn on interaction. All right, so let me go here. I don't know how to do that, Console Kits. I'll have to talk to you later. And nope, that's not what we want. Nope. There we go. I'm a little caught off guard here now because my son just started screaming, and I don't know if my wife's heard him yet. Let me just send her a quick message, guys. Sorry about this. Family first. Oh, here she comes. We're good. He is mad. He didn't sleep today. He usually has a nap in the daytime, but my wife was working all day, so I stayed with him, and he just didn't go down for a nap. So he's going to be fussy tonight. Okay, so let's get started, and let's talk about what's going to happen at CES next year. And I figured the most interesting place where to start is obviously the leak list that came out last year. Let's talk about that briefly. And I'm going to tell you everything I think I know about the leak list and where this leads to Arcade1Up CES reveals. So just give me a second here. I'm going to bring this up on screen. Whoop. All right. Take this down. And now we can do the screen share. So here we go. Right now, here is the list that came out. And I'm going to clarify this. I'm going to try to make this bigger, so you guys can see. I'm going to clarify this. So this list was given to me by Travis, famously on stream, and then afterwards it leaked out. I don't know how it leaked out, but other people got it, and I got messages from Travis early that day saying, okay, the list is out. However, it's not entirely accurate. There's some stuff on there that's definitely not happening. So, you know, we famously went on stream and talked about, like, some of the stuff isn't happening. And then other people were like, oh, here comes the Arcade1Up cover-up and stuff like that. And maybe it is a cover-up. I was told by Travis, who works for Arcade1Up, this stuff isn't happening. So, this is the potential list for the 2024 lineup. But keep in mind, this was the list that was derived by John D. when he was still there. This was his list for 2024. Not necessarily Arcade1Up's. This is John's list. Now, since then, John has left the company. John is the one that would have negotiated most of these deals. So there's always the question of, is the deal still in place? Is it different? Did Arcade1Up then decide to do something different without John's influence? That's the questions we have to ask there. And I'm sorry, guys. I got the chat off the screen. I'm going to bring it back up so I can see it over here. I just don't want to miss anything you guys are doing. So the first up is Decadent Dave says AVP is happening. Well, let's address that one right out of the gate. AVP is probably not happening. Probably not going to be at CES. For those of you waiting for a 3/4 scale deluxe AVP 19K Fox, I apologize, man. I don't think it's coming. I know we saw a leaked picture of an advertising pamphlet that was shown to retailers, but I said when that came out, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, they built a Double Dragon. I know for a fact they reached out to retailers such as The Brick and tried to sell them Double Dragon. It didn't come to fruition. So that's the problem with Arcade1Up. They can come up with all the great ideas in the world, but there's this huge dark cloud over them that the retailers have to be interested in. From what I understand, AVP might not be coming out. I haven't heard positive things, and honestly, it didn't really poll well in the community. And if Arcade1Up is listening to the community, unfortunately, people were unhappy with the cabs. So I would say that there's a very good chance we're not getting Alien vs. Predator. I don't know if that's going to be disappointing to some, but I don't know. So then Cowabunga Collection. Let me just bring this up here. We got a $5 super chat here from Kevin Clausen. Please confirm Cowabunga Collection. We all want to play Game Boy games on our arcades. Well, I'm going to spoil Cowabunga. Thank you very much for the super chat, Kevin, but I'm going to spoil Cowabunga Collection for you as well. I don't believe Cowabunga Collection is coming. I don't believe it was ever coming. If you guys know as much as the rumors going around with everything, iArcade tried really, really, really hard to get TMNT Shredder's Revenge for the iArcade. So much so that I was told they were even showcasing it at conventions, putting it on the cabs and showing it off, and everybody seemed to think it was a done deal. That is until John D swooped in and secured the rights to Shredder's Revenge, apparently. So I think Cowabunga Collection might have been a red herring. I don't know if they ever had Cowabunga Collection, but what I heard from John D and what I heard from the grapevine was they had Shredder's Revenge, and they were going to put Shredder's Revenge on an Arcade1Up Turtles cab with Turtles the Arcade game and Turtles in Time. Now, me personally, that doesn't really do a lot for me. I think Shredder's Revenge is an awesome game. I think it would have made sense for a platform like iArcade. For Arcade1Up, I don't get it, man. Especially if it's the big name on the cab, like that's going to be on the side of the cab. I don't think it's going to happen. So, Cowabunga Collection, I don't think that's real either. I don't. And the only way that it is real is if it's actually Shredder's Revenge. So, we'll wait and see on that. I would think that the logical move for Arcade1Up would be to sell a deluxe Turtles cab. I mean, Turtles is sold well. Turtles in Time is sold well. The logical next step is to make another Turtles cab in the deluxe form factor, just a regular Turtles cab. I gotta read this comment. And Stockjock, good to see you, my man. I saw your picture on Pinball Project on their Twitter page and Facebook page next to your new Jurassic Park pinball. Congratulations again. RetroCack says, Debbie Downer over here. Well, we're going to get into the fun stuff. I'm sorry. I just have to talk about this list first. Maybe... No, there's not a coffee stand in the leak list. I think this is something somebody made up. I got this off the page, so I had a visual representation. So, moving on down, track and field. Track and field is a possibility. Slight possibility. We know that they've been working on track and field for a couple years. We know that they probably already did some preliminary work on what the ROMs would look like, what the cab would look like. So track and field is a possibility. From what I understand, it was one that was also, like Double Dragon, turned down by retailers a couple years ago. You remember that big Gamefly leak list from a couple years ago? Track and field was on that list. It was a done deal. It was a cab that was coming out. And then all of a sudden, it disappeared. So what I'm told is that this is a cab that just did not sell to retailers. Retailers weren't interested in picking it up. But Arcade1Up moving forward, if you want to believe the rumors that maybe they're short on cash and they have to do things smart. I think Biggie D's brought it up a couple times in his podcast. It would make sense for them to try to move forward with something they already had previously in production, such as Track and Field Deluxe. So I think this one's a possibility. The only thing that concerns me a little bit about it is you may remember on Super Game Room Dudes, we had Ben on from Numbskull, and he talked about Track and Field and said there was complications with the artwork. So this might be another tough one too. And me personally, I don't want Arcade1Up to release a cabinet unless it's a recreation of a classic arcade. So as much as Track and Field would be excited, how excited would you be for it if it didn't have the right cab and right artwork? That's the question. We'll have to see what happens there. And moving on, Star Wars XL. Man, I hope to hell they do this. I sold my Star Wars 3/4 because I was so confident they were going to do this. I know this is one they've been talking about, working on for a long time. At one point, John D told me they made a real prototype of Star Wars, and it was just too expensive. They couldn't do it. So I don't think we'll ever get the Pro Star Wars, but Star Wars XL just makes sense. I mean, it's a huge name, huge franchise. There's so many Star Wars things happening right now. Star Wars XL makes a ton of sense. And most of the community want XL cabs. So I think this one is a possibility. We'll come back and talk about this more when we talk about the XL cabs. Next up is one that is another one I think is actually really possible, and that's Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter Alpha Legacy. We already know they have a good relationship with Capcom. We already know that retailers are willing to buy a Capcom cabinet, provided it's got that Street Fighter name on it. But obviously, there's a little bit of fatigue on Street Fighter 2. We all feel it, and we've all been saying we want something different. So the idea of doing a Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter Alpha Deluxe cab just makes too much sense. I mean, they should absolutely, definitely do it. We're going to go off the line. We're going to talk about this next, but I did want to just bring this up. I think this one's a possibility, but the question is, are they going to engage in, because there's a lot of work that's involved with it, because they have to bring these games onto the platform, and it's not as simple as just dumping a ROM onto an emulator in order to get it to work on their online framework. There's actually a lot of research and development that goes into it. So, but I think this is a possibility. I know John was very big on this when he was there. We'll see. I think this one is a possibility in the deluxe form factor. Now, here's one that I think is a no-brainer, and they should do. How could Defender XL not even get on the list? There's more than one list. Defender XL with Party Cade controls and game lineup. It was the best Party Cade they made. I 100% agree with this. I've been fighting for this for a long time. I did hear a rumor a long time back that they were going to make a Defender 3/4 scale home arcade, but this was back in the Riser days, based on the Party Cade. The Party Cade was such a huge hit with the community, they were considering finally doing a proper Defender, not a Mortal Kombat with a skin. So I don't know if XL will happen, and we'll talk about that in a bit, because that's going to be the biggest part of this conversation. But Defender Deluxe maybe could happen with the Party Cade games. Maybe throw a couple other things on there. I mean, bubbles would work. You only need one stick. It's not going to be accurate because it's not in the middle, but you could do bubbles on it as well. I think they could do a Defender Deluxe. Jason, he's always got the good points here. So let's go down again. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 XL. I know this is one that John wanted. I don't know how the Marvel vs. Capcom sales went, if they're strong enough in order for them to bring this into the XL form factor. And do you guys want it? Throw a 1 in the chat if you guys would even want it. Not a fan of risers in general. Shit or get off the pot. Yeah, I think the risers are gone. I don't think it'll happen. Wish they would follow the Multi-Williams design and do that. A lot of people would want that. I'm not a fan of the Multi-Williams. I would rather just get a dedicated cab with Defender on it, or a dedicated cab with Robotron on it. You guys know me. I'm here for the nostalgia. I'm not here to see how many games I can cram into a cab. But I see a lot of people here saying, one, even though Marvel vs. Capcom 2 got off to a rocky start, online didn't work originally. Then when they got it working, it was limited. So, Bob Oif is saying no, but I do see ones here. Depends on what it would look like if I would get another MVC. I think honestly, if they did another Marvel vs. Capcom, it wouldn't be in the Mortal Kombat form factor. If they were going to do it, it would probably be either in like an XL HS5, or it would be in an XL Big Blue. XL Big Blue? Yeah, take my money. I think that would be a good thing. Kevin Clausen says, arcade accurate, XL everything. That's what I want too. Decadent Dave, more 80s cabs. That's what I want. That's what I want Arcade1Up to do. We're gonna talk about that, because I got some theories on what Arcade1Up should do. Hope to see more games. Expect to see more of the same. I think you're going to be happy, Scott B. I've got a feeling that next year will be the first year they don't release a Pac-Man. Not at CES. I just got a feeling. Can you imagine? Nicholas Diorio says the deluxe line will reign supreme. I think that is their new go-to. I mean, they were built as a 3/4 company. There's a lot of people that don't want them to get bigger. They don't want to jump up. Me, personally, I want the XLs, but I realize there's still that group of people that want the 3/4 scale. I didn't say it was a go. Where'd that come from, Stockjock? I want it to be a go more than anything. I need the practice. Oh, that hurts. That hurts, Stockjock. How could you? Spy Hunter XL will be interesting. All right, we got to get through this so we can do the rest. SNK Big Red XL. I hope so. I don't think so. You got to understand that SNK, while a lot of us retro gamers really love and respect it, and arcade enthusiasts love and respect SNK, it's not exactly the most marketable thing in the entire world. I mean, you look at when Unico had the MVSX, and maybe it's the size of Unico or not, they didn't have a lot of retail luck with it. That was mostly a direct-to-consumer purchase. So we know the way Arcade1Up's business works. I mean, they had to go through retailers. How many retailers are going to be interested in a Big Red XL? Me personally, I think outside of Robotron, it's the most interesting thing on this list. And personally, I think it's the most interesting thing on this list. And especially with the fact that there was a conversation about possibly doing some kind of a la carte with it. Like, because I thought Arcade1Up was the worst company to have the SNK license because they were going to do Butcher cabs with King of Fighters on the side, Metal Slug on the side. But when I heard this concept, and I heard this from John way back, of doing an a la carte with SNK, I mean, it just makes sense. And that's something I would support. But it's whether or not you can get the retailer to jump on board. Off-road 3-player XL, I can't imagine that would be happening. Not in the XL form factor, not 3-player. Do we really want off-road? Would off-road be a really super exciting driving title? You can let me know. I just don't think that's a possibility. I already know Lethal Enforcers, 100% not happening. Cyrus came out and said that on one of our Arcade1 updates. Not going to happen. Gregory, 100%. The Unico SNK is very well made. My only real complaint with it is that it's hard to sit at a stool and play, and not just because of the height. Like, the deck doesn't come out far enough because the deck is like pretty much right on par with the base. So I find the deck doesn't come out far enough for me to sit on a stool and play it. And then I did buy the riser because I wanted it to be a little bit taller. And then I didn't like the heights that it provided. I felt on the first one, it was still a little bit too low, but on the highest one, it was super high. I actually really, really like what Unico built there. It's just that issue kind of bothered me a little bit. But in terms of screen, sound quality, buttons and everything, really like the Unico SNK MVSX. So much so that I'm actually really excited about their candy cab, which we can talk more about another time. All right. Pac-Man Royale. Not happening. Just cross that one out. I think some of the stuff was just stuff to screw with you. And then last but not least, 720. 720's not coming, guys. Go look at a picture of 720 and tell me how Arcade1Up is going to recreate that in a deluxe form factor with a boombox up top. It's just, I can't logically see them doing 720. No. Did I mention Smash TV and Robotron? This one's possible. I was told a little while ago, before this year, before I started doing anything with Arcade1Up, that the canceled 80s cab from last year that we heard about was in fact supposed to be Smash TV. Smash TV with Robotron on it, and I guess Total Carnage would be one of the other games. So it looks like that one might actually be happening. Again, it's one of the tough things, man. Do retailers know what Smash TV is? Can they sell this to a retailer? Maybe Shop Hippo. They seem to have a really good relationship with As Seen on TV, but that was planned for last year. Didn't happen. So there you go. Oh, we're going to get into this, Vic Vicious. SNK Big Red 1-Up site exclusive. $2 super chat. Thank you very much, my brother. You and me, we're on the exact same wavelength. Thank you very much. Tons of new titles you're telling us, but these aren't them. Yeah, Nicholas, I'm sorry. I don't think you're going to get a lot from this list. The only ones that I think are really super possible, Smash TV Robotron, Track and Field, Star Wars XL, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter Alpha Legacy. That's it. That new titles, I think that's what you're looking at. I think AVP is not happening early. Might still happen, but I think maybe they've cooled off because of the bad reception on the community polls to Alien vs. Predator. I don't think it's going to happen. So, yeah. Anyways, that's the list, guys. Now we're done with that. I can put this back up on the screen and we can get back to having fun. So, what is going to happen? What is going to happen in January when Arcade1Up shows up at CES? I think the easiest thing for us to do is to take a look at the past. So I want to go back and I just want to show something really quick. Let me just bring this up. Sorry guys, I'm the worst. Give me 1 second here. Uno momento, por favor. Here we go. Yeah, Jason says, I see Track and Field only if Konami comes back and they release it before the 2024 Summer Olympics. There is a rumor floating around online that Arcade1Up and Konami aren't seeing eye to eye right now. I don't know if there's much truth to that, any truth to that, but if they aren't, I mean, it would be very hard for them to do Track and Field. And also, this, what was it, Century owns the art, so I mean, it's super complicated. Oh my god, Tapper. I would love Tapper. Tapper would be such a cool cab. Do some kind of partnership with, like, Root Beer Company, or even do a beer one, man. Like, Budweiser, get Budweiser on board. I would love that. Leave the fridge out of it. The fridge was stupid. So, here we go. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Just give me uno momento. So I'm going to bring this up on the screen for you here, guys. I think, honestly, in order for us to look at what Arcade1Up are going to do at CES is to be realistic and look what they did in the past. So let's take a look at what they showed last year, and we'll kind of go from there. New in 2023, just announced. Of course, we got the Infinity Game Board last year, which I don't know how many people were really looking forward to. I guess it was their idea to do a cheaper version of the Infinity Game Table that maybe brought in a whole new audience. I mean, we know the Infinity Game Table 32-inch jumped up to like $1,000 US. Then we got the Casino Arcade, and, well, it's a product. So, I don't know how I feel about it. Not for me. Then we got the advertisement for the Deluxe Cabs and the Blue Miss Pac-Man Deluxe. We never ever got. But this was probably the biggest announcement, and this is what I want you guys to focus on. There's going to be some disappointment in this conversation, but typically, at CES, last couple years, what we've got is the launch of their legacy cabinets or their redesign cabinets. So what I have a suspicion they're going to do this year is we're going to get some new deluxe cabinets, but I think we are going to get some re-releases, but not in the way that you think we're going to get some re-releases. I think we're going to get some re-releases in the XL form factor. That's what I'm hoping for. I would love to see that. I don't know if it's 100% accurate. I know the fans 100% want to see more XL cabs. I don't think we'll ever get new titles in XL. I think the new titles will always come to the deluxe line first. But I think we are going to get some XLs. And I did want to show you the ones that I do think we're going to see maybe at CES, possibly. First off, I think Mortal Kombat XL has to happen. I've been holding off from buying the deluxe ever since it came here in Canada in November, believe it or not. Only showed up here in November. It did go on sale for $50 off, so it was $5.99 Canadian. And I almost caved, but I got close. Anyways, I think it's a no-brainer. They've already talked about they're investing more money, more resources in doing a Mortal Kombat spectate mode. If you want to increase your user base, if you want to reinvest in your core community, I think the smart move is to do an MK2 XL. You always do some kind of re-releases around CES. If you are going to start doing some XL cabs, Mortal Kombat would be a good place to start. Star Wars. Star Wars is a big stamp. They did the Star Wars revision last year with the coin door, with the riser, but with the extended artwork. Not a deluxe, but we've already seen on the leak list, we already know there's a possibility a Star Wars XL would kick ass. 19 inches with the yoke. One step further, do online and online leaderboards, and I think you've got something the community would be all friggin' over. Hey, Console Kit says, I think Arcade1Up should make more shirts. If they do, I'm buying an XL. Smart. We all know that the shirt-making business of Arcade1Up is gone. Do you remember, when was it? It was at Comic-Con last year when you guys went and John D was there doing the side hustle with the shirts? Buy 3 shirts for 20? I was like, what the hell is happening here? So, I think very possible we're going to get a Star Wars XL. I hope. And then last but not least of the reveals, oh, where'd you go? Street Fighter 2 XL. I had heard a rumor they were looking at doing this possibly last year. It only makes sense. That new form factor looks very, very good. Capcom is one they usually announce. So if they're going to do 3 re-releases at CES, I would hope they'd be in the XL form factor. And I would hope they would be these 3 cabs. That's my guess. Ooh, good comment. Mortal Kombat 4 XXL. Oh, I don't think that's going to happen. Hey, Darren. Darren is my favorite person on this because the Arcade1Up shirt debacle has to be the most frustrating thing in the entire world to me. As a big fan of Arcade1Up, one of their biggest fans, I would argue, over the course of the last 4 years, I constantly said I would love to buy an Arcade1Up shirt or hat. And they did put merch available on their website. But instead of just doing a shirt with an Arcade1Up logo on it, you know, like a sensible company would do, they always had to do some kind of weird collab, Arcade1Up Dragon Blood, Arcade1Up something. None of it made any sense. It all looked terrible. Why not just make a shirt with your logo on it? Mother of God, why not just do that? Jason makes a good point here. I think Capcom's SF2 XL will be EVO 2024. That's smart. Maybe that will be their Marvel vs. Capcom 2 XL. Who knows? Hopefully a good monitor too. Yeah, I think Arcade1Up has completely wised up. That monitor situation from a couple years ago never happened again. I think their business took way too much of a hit from that. And for anybody saying that we don't matter here, the people on YouTube and the consumers that are reviewing these products or commenting on the Facebook pages, look at your sales from those cabs and tell us we don't make a difference. Ooh, T-Public has you covered. Upside down logo did not do well. No. All right, so those are the 3 cabs I think we'll see in XL. I hope if they're going to follow the re-release format. To me, that's where the smart money is. There might be there's another option too. I'll just throw this out there, and I think you know what it is. Very possible we also see a class of 81 XL. I mean, it just does make sense. I don't know why, but they're determined not to do a straight up Miss Pac-Man cab for whatever reason. So I think it's also possible we will see a XL class of 1981. Now, in terms of deluxe and 3/4 scale, I think the concept of the legacy cab, nope, that's not what I want. Still learning how to do this with my new hands. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I would have bought MK30th, Joust, and Dignug had it not been for the bad monitors. Fake crane game. We're going to talk about that too. Don't you worry. So, in terms of the deluxe cabs, I think the day of the Evergreen and the day of the legacy cabs might be done. I think right now, Arcade1Up has heard the feedback from the audience. I'd be very surprised if they came to CES and they just did a Pac-Man variant, Mortal Kombat variant, and Class of 81 variant like they did last year. I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're going to see new titles, or at least new re-releases. So, possibility of a Turtles Deluxe, something along those lines, like cool cabs they did in the past that they're going to remake in the deluxe form factor, and maybe some of the new games. Maybe Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter Alpha, deluxe cab. What else was on the list? Possibly Track and Field, maybe Robotron, which is actually going to be Smash TV. I think that's the kind of stuff we'll see at CES, but it has to be tied in with something that retailers would jump onto. That's my guess. Guess. I am clear about this. Guess. I do think Arcade1Up has heard the community feedback, and they are going to do that. That's my guess. My other hope and guess is that Arcade1Up is going to pay more attention to the core community. I know for the last couple of years, they've really focused on the masses and growing their product, but we're not in the same space anymore either. Like, we are not where we were in the pandemic, where they could sell 2 million cabs at $3.99 because everybody was stuck home and people were looking for new things. Doesn't exist anymore. Right now, in order for Arcade1Up to move stuff, they're going to have to sell to their core audience. They might not be in a growth position. They might be in a sustainment position, which means they have to attract previous buyers. And to do that, they're going to have to listen to us. These people that go on YouTube shows, these people that watch YouTube shows, get in the chat, these people that comment on the Facebook pages, they're going to have to pay more attention to that if they want to get that community to buy their product. And if they want to win back the trust and enthusiasm of the community, they're going to have to listen. They're going to have to offer new products in the deluxe form factor. So that's my guess. I don't think we're going to just see a legacy launch. I think we're going to see new products. I don't know exactly what ones. I mean, honestly, shit's wild. I have no clue what's coming. Everything's off the table now because John's not there anymore. With John, you know, he had locked up solid relationships. Cyrus, I'm sure, has similar connections and he's involved, but you never can tell. I mean, it's a completely different environment. They can't offer the guarantees they previously offered. So we'll see what games they're coming out with. Now, the other thing I'm really hoping for, I was super excited to mention those XL cabs, but I will tell you, for some reason, the only retailer that had looked at selling XL cabs last year was Costco, was the club stores. So if the retailers aren't willing to pick up the XL cabs, and the community has clearly stated, we want XL cabs, and we want them in great numbers. Like, we got one XL cab last year. I can tell you right now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, if you offer us one XL cab in 2024, you're going to piss a lot of people off. A lot of people that still want to support you, still want to buy products from you, are going to be furious because they don't want to buy 3/4 scale. They don't want to buy the deluxe model. They have openly said no to spending money on some of this stuff, even though they probably wanted it because they said, I'm going to wait for an XL. So if you don't turn around and make XLs, you're going to upset people. So, and people also want varying titles that retailers won't pick up. So it might be time for Arcade1Up to do something a little bit different. I know retailers are important. I know that's your game. I'm not saying go away from that. But I think it's finally time you guys got off your ass and figured out how to do direct-to-consumer better. Because you guys are leaving money on the table. Direct-to-consumer, you guys can offer a lot more varying products. Even come up with some kind of method to do some kind of crowdsourcing cabinet. Like, if you don't have confidence in a product like Qbert, let the community do it. Don't do some half-baked poll from somebody that, you know, is trying, that people don't have confidence in, so they don't vote. Do your own due diligence. Maybe talk to Gottlieb. Apparently John said you guys already had the license, so why don't you do a Kickstarter, or not a Kickstarter. Kickstarter is nuts. Do your own crowdfunding on your page. And I don't know what your cutoff is, if it's 1,000, 2,000 cabs, Put it up on the page and say, we're giving you 70 days. Please agree to this crowdfunding piece on our page that you're going to buy 1,000 Q*berts at $3.99. I'm going to stick to that price point because you're not selling through the retailer. You're not giving the retailer the cut anymore. You can drop it a little bit. I know you can. So $3.99, 1,000, 2,000 Q*berts. Let's make it happen. A lot of us want you to keep doing arcade recreations. We want to do fun stuff. And it seems like there's a great big barrier to entry with that, with the fact that everything depends on the retailer. And the retailers are idiots in our community. We look at them as idiots. They don't know what we want. They're all 30-somethings. They don't have the history. They don't have the expectation we have. So there you go. Direct to consumer. Take a look at what your other competitive companies are doing. You're always going to be viewed as the top dog in the fight. You're always going to be viewed as the big company. But if you take a look at what Numskull are doing and you take a look at what New Wave Toys are doing, they have developed a competitive model based off, delivering exactly what their fans want, doing direct to consumer. Sure, there's a lot more risk involved with it, but they built a great relationship, a great chain of selling things direct to consumer. I think there's an opportunity for you guys to do it too. And I think it will help you regain that community involvement and community connection that is sadly missing for the course of the last 2 years. So yes, I would like to see you do some kind of direct to consumer, some kind of crowdfunding. I think there's an opportunity to do those cabs we all want you to do, we all dream of, but we're hesitant to even believe you can because of the retailer interaction. Look into the camera and say, no more light up decks. No more light up decks. No more light up buttons. They're stupid. You can do them with mass retail cabs, I suppose, that just generic people are going to, but like most of us, we're looking for arcade recreations. I'm going to put it out there. If you go back in history and look at your cabs that did poorly, I would bet the ones that undersold expectations are mostly NFL Blitz. Well, NFL Blitz also had a game that was chopped up and the online didn't work out of the gate. And I bet you those Street Fighters from a couple years ago didn't do very well with the Yoga Flame and the Shinko Hadouken. That's my guess. People want arcade recreations from you. You've developed a concept and an expectation. You're going to do a quasi-arcade replication. So people can blur the lines of reality. When they get their toy arcade, they sort of feel like it's the real thing. So Andy Scanrum says he sort of likes the light-up decks. Not buttons, though. I know. Game Fridge says he likes the light-up buttons. Different strokes for different folks, man. Everybody likes different things. Back to Reality says, how about small batch pre-orders for the more eclectic fan? Exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know how this works. I don't know how Arcade1Up's order system works, how it's profitable. I don't know what that number is, 500, 1,000, 2,000. Used to be 3,000. 3,000 is what we were told when Burger Time came out. They had to do a run of like 3,000. It's got to have got better than that. Especially now with the smaller boxes and shipping and stuff. Decadent Dave says, Star Wars and Tron have the Disney licensing tax. I don't know how Tron sold. I was told it sold more than they expected. I would love to see an XL Tron. I hope that's one they go back and look at. Do you guys want to see a Deluxe Tron or do you want to see an XL Tron? I think they have to go XL with that one. Yeah, see? But they will never do Blitz again. Even though everybody's getting it, they like it now, they paid $2.99. It did so poorly, I don't think Arcade1Up will ever go back and do it again. If they would, I think now that the online's up and running properly, I think it's got a shot. But I think you got to do it in an XL form factor. And don't mess around with the art this time. Just do the original art. Like if you think it's, oh, well, it only has the Green Bay Packers on it or anything like that. No one gives a shit about the teams. They just want an arcade replication. Soul Red says he likes the light up decks and J panels. Some light up J panels are accurate, actually. Tron. Oh my god, I've gone over. I had no realize, no concept I was going over. I was the guy who installed the Notify Me button. See? You learn something every day. Anyways, guys, I've rambled on here now. I've probably dashed some dreams with the, leak list that came out there earlier. I hope, there's a couple other things I do want to talk about. I can't leave right away. So, one is last year they revealed the Casino-cade. Do I think we've seen the end of the Casino-cade? No, I don't. I think the Casino-cade, I think they want it to come back. I think Arcade1Up is looking at other products, out-of-the-box products, accessories that would make sense they could do that would be their next big thing. Really, if you look at products and life cycles, if you have general business knowledge, Arcade1Up right now, I believe they believe their product is in the cash cow stage to moving out of that stage. So they're maybe looking for the next big hook, what's going to get them there. Me personally, I don't know if there is a next big hook, but I think that's what the Casino-cade, that was a shot in the dark to see if they could do something different. I think they would like to do more Casino-cades, and they have invested significant money into developing that product. So I think there's a possibility it could come back, but I think if it does, it really needs to be a partycade. It needs to be a partycade at a cheaper price point, and then optional bases, if that makes sense. You could do that for people that want to invest more money, but I think it has more legs as a partycade at a cheaper price point. I think more people will pick it up. I think the price point for the audience that would want it was a little bit restrictive. You might get a small niche part of the core community that picked them up and paid that money. But I really don't think there's the market that maybe they thought there was for the Casino-cade. Now, if you do it smaller as a partycade, you can get it into a retailer like Walmart, Best Buy, like where it's right on store shelves, and it becomes more of an impulse buy for people. You might have a chance with it then, but I don't think me personally, and I don't have any sales data, I don't think the Casino-cade's it, and maybe I'm biased because it's not a product for me. The other thing is, we've seen some demos of other stuff Arcade1Up have possibly been looking at doing. There was that rumor about the claw machine, and there was the box that was in the background of that video Cyrus did. So there's rumors of a potential claw machine. I think there's opportunity for Arcade1Up to look at doing more products that are accessory or complementary products like the Casino-cade was. They're going to look at other opportunities to come out with other products that might fit in a home game room. I don't know if the claw machine will ever come out, if it's a real thing, if it's ever going to be a real thing. But I wouldn't be surprised to see something weird and wacky like that possibly also being at CES. Last but not least, congratulations again. I'm very jealous of all you guys. With the $3.99 Fast and the Furious cabs, I would have bit at that price. Hell, I would have got Street Fighter at that price. Street Fighter is available on sale again here, but not really. It's $6.39 on Amazon right now, which is $10 less than what it would be regular price if it was available here in Canada. It's not. It's only available through one retailer, Spreetail, on Amazon, which I think is As Seen on TV anyways. So, I don't know. I'm thinking about that one, but I know I need to buy an oven, so I'm probably going to buy the oven instead of that. But I do want that. I do want that Street Fighter 2 Deluxe and the Mortal Kombat Deluxe. But fingers crossed for XL cabs in 2024. Yeah, there you go. Wheel of Fortune can be used on a table without the stand, sort of like iArcade, MVSX, etc. Yes, sell it primarily as that. I think people would be more interested in some kind of tabletop version of the Casino-cade, not necessarily even a partycade, just some kind of tabletop unit. All right, guys, before I go, I do have to bring up the poll. Let's take a look at it. This was put up 4 hours ago. We let it go the entire show. And right now, here's what you guys want. Number one in the polls with 43%. You guys want XL cabs with new games. I'm not surprised. I knew that would be the number one. So you want to see a brand new game come out of the gate that's in the XL form factor. Number two was 3/4 scale cabs with new games. And I know that there's still a lot of people that get concerned when they see all this, I don't know what it is, like all this push and movement in the community for Arcade1 move the XL cabs, because they have arcades full of 3/4 scale cabs already, and they don't want to see that go away. So I understand that as well. The one I'm concerned about is only 20% for XL cabs with re-release games, which is weird to me because I would assume that you guys, I mean, you probably don't want to replace what you have, but don't you want some of these awesome games that came out with before, in XL form factor? Like me personally, and maybe I'm weird, I want a Star Wars, I want a Mortal Kombat, I want a Street Fighter, I want a TMNT, but in the XL form factor, something that I just find more robust, more enjoyable to play. Maybe I'm in the minority, I don't know. But that only scored 20%. And then with 4%, again, what we just talked about, stuff like the Casino-cade, stuff like the Claw Machine, hey, P-Dub's Dartboard, only got 4% of the vote. It doesn't seem like the core big audience really wants that. So, interesting poll. I'm going to close it up. I always forget to do this, but done. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. Fun chat. It was fun to get together with you guys again. I didn't know if I was going to do this tonight, honestly, because P-Dubs was doing his show, and I'm swamped at work, but I was like, the hell with it. This is how I relax, how I have fun, hanging out with you guys Monday night, and I appreciate you being here with me and spending your time doing this. So, I forgot to mention this. Peasant. Arcade1Up will always provide the Peasant, as we were told they were internally called at one point. They'll always provide the $299, I can't confirm that price point, but they'll always provide that low-tier cab with no light-up marquee and no riser, as long as they have a relationship with Walmart, because Walmart wants that from them. So for people that only want to get the Peasant cabs, they're going to still continue to offer them. It's just, it'll be interesting what they offer each year. I think it'll only be their highest grossing cabs. So last year we got Buck Hunter, which was kind of a surprise. It'd be interesting to see what they do next year. And Vic Vicious makes a good point too. He thinks most people do want the XLs. They just don't want to pay those XL prices. Yeah, I mean, once it gets up to $599, $699, $799, and I mean $1,000 for Killer Instinct, kind of makes you want to puke. I don't know if I can really justify the price on that one. All right, guys. Well, anyways, yeah, Paul Mindeman with a great point. I know Paul is leading this XL push, and I don't disagree with him. I want the XLs too. I'm not going to lie to you. That's what I want to see Arcade1Up make. I'm sorry. That's what I want to buy from Arcade1Up. I'll rephrase that. That's what I'm interested in buying from Arcade1Up. I'm not super jazzed about the deluxe line, even though it's better than what it was. I want XLs personally, so I'm right with you with that one. But I still want what people want for their stuff. But if you can get a, like Paul said, where's this chat here now? $499 price point for the XL regular? I'm okay with that. I think that's a fair price point. I'd be willing to pay that, provided it comes to Canada, because if it's only sold through Costco and the club stores, they never show up here, and that would suck ass. All right, guys. Well, anyways, everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, if you won something on P-Dub stream, congratulations. Otherwise, there we go. Hey, Mike, quick question. What's your one bet for a CES announcement if you had to put all your money on one cab? I can't tell you. This year is a wild card. If I had to put all my money on one cab, I honestly can't tell you, because in the previous years, it was easy. Like going into this year, even though I did not have any official information, I was like, yeah, you're going to get another Mortal Kombat 2. You're going to get another Bandai Namco cab, like Pac-Man cab. It was pretty much dead center. But if Arcade1Up are doing what I think they're doing, they're, really trying to build on with the core audience again, I don't think that's going to be what they reveal at CES. So this year is truly an interesting mystery year. So I can't tell you what it's going to be. I honestly can't. Not in 100 years. I have no knowledge, and I really can't put a finger on it. I will tell you, if it is new deluxe versions of Pac-Man, Mortal Kombat, and Class of 81, some new version of that, it's not a good move for Arcade1Up, and I think they'll have a rough year. I think you're going to have a further loss of interest from the community if they just reveal legacy cabs at CES, and I hope it's not that. Anyways, on that sour note, good night, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you more this week. My wife's been really super busy. She's been working a ton, so I haven't had as much time in the last couple days to do videos, but most of the way through on a projector review. I got another projector sent to me, so I'm a projector channel now. But anyways, really like this one. Smart projector, really like the picture quality. Got all my stuff shot. I just got to put it together into a video and put it out. So hopefully get that out to you in the next 2 days. Maybe I'll even do my Steam Deck OLED review. I've got a hard drive from Kinhank, Nostalgia's favorite company. One that plugs into your computer that apparently has like 12,000 games. So we'll see how that is. Maybe I'll get that out this week and whatever else comes around too. And hopefully there's some news because those are much easier videos to do than reviews. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful night. Thank you for hanging out with me. This has been Chillin' Chat with Michael B. I know you're here somewhere in video. I put you down there. Oh, I see it now. Good night.